Hey. Hello, guys. Welcome. Sorry for all that. I kept pressing wrong buttons, so I was getting all sorts of splash screens going up. Oh, dear. I'm in a bit of a muddle. Right, okay. I had a little bit of a say on Paul Thorpe's live stream a while ago. And so it encouraged me to try and get my head around trying to make a video and concentrate on something or other. So as you can see by the thumbnail, ConformUK. Just say no. Right. So, ConformUK. So it's actually ConformUK. The live chat's open, guys, so if you want to say something in the live chat, say what you like. I am bothered. Voice your opinion. Now then, right. So if you heard me on Paul Thorpe, you've kind of got the gist of my opinion, but it's obviously a little bit limited on Paul's channel. But yeah, reform. Okay, so I voted reform. I haven't finished yet, Dave. Right. It made me lose my thread. I got no script, guys. Don't use scripts. I just talk. I just say whatever comes out of my mouth. So I perhaps need to be a little bit careful before I get arrested. Right. Okay. So I voted reform, despite being a paid-up member of UKIP and a big fan of Nick Tenconi. So yeah, so I did vote reform, and I had great faith in them, and I thought they was the answer. So since the election, a few things have happened. Tommy was thrown under the bus, which some people could say fair enough. I don't think Tommy belongs in a political party. They wouldn't be able to contain him. They wouldn't be able to control him. He is just too much for politics, and he does a fantastic job on his activism and his journalism. So, okay, but they threw him under the bus, and then they dissed him, and then they lied about him. They made false accusations of violence against women, which is so much despicable crap, which there was no need at all to be said. So that's point one. So what did we do? We went, oh, okay, all right, okay, they whatever, and we let it slide. Then they also threw us lot and that lot. Oh, blah blah blah, that lot. As if we're some far-right gang of Nazis. 30 of us running around with swastikas or whatever Tate's meant. Oh, God knows, he's such a half-wit. But anyway, so we let that lot slide, and we still came out and said, let's stick behind them. Hopefully we can change them from the inside with opinion, and just shape their way of thinking. But guys, it's gone too far. It really has gone too far. Now I hate to say this because I agree with what a lot of other people will say. What else have we got? To be honest with you, as it currently stands, with all the disgusting and vile behaviour coming from certain people in reform, I'd rather not vote. I'd rather sit back and go, I couldn't care less let the Conservatives in, let Labour in. I ain't bothered, because if you vote Reform, you're going to get nothing. You're going to get nothing much better, because I think they'll go back on the promises. I think they'll fold. They already are folding. Thanks, Gail. Oh, blimey. Still got my gaming alerts. This started as a gaming channel, and as I've been dragged myself into this. I was awoken last year, and in all honesty, I wish I'd have not been awoken. I was quite happy. I was quite happy until last year, and then I had my eyes opened, and I've been depressed ever since. But I have faith in the British people. I have faith in you guys out there. But anyway, back to Conform. Now, as far as the Runcorn election goes, if any of you out there are listening or watch this later, my advice to you is do not vote at all. Let it run. What difference does it make? We've got another 4 years. What difference does it make if some other halfwit gets in Runcorn, Labour, Conservative? What difference is it going to make? And to the point of, if Reform win that seat, what difference will that make? Nothing. We'll have some goofy toothed lefty ex-magistrate, Free Palestine supporting Reform candidate. What use are they to us? I just don't get it. All Reform seem to be doing at the moment is raking in all the dregs from the other parties to just prop up their numbers or something. I don't know. And just dismissing all of us as that lot. We don't count, we don't matter, they don't need us. It's fair enough, okay. So my advice is don't vote. Don't vote at all. If you're asked in the street who you're going to vote for, tell them nobody. And let's see where these polls all go in support of Reform. We've all seen what they've been up to. They're dragging Rupert Lowe through the mud. And to be honest with you, if Rupert said some hurty words here and there and some snowflakes got all upset about it, well, tough shit and it piss off. Excuse my language. But whatever, that's the problem with this country. You say anything someone don't like, they're up the arse and ringing the police up or going crying off somewhere. Man up, grow up. So Dave says all those candidates, it's not fair to them. You are just crushing their hopes and dreams. At least they're trying and they are putting themselves forward. I 100% agree with most of that, Dave. It is not fair to these candidates, but Farage is crushing their hopes and dreams. I mean, let's be fair. Farage is just a liar. He's proven that. He's been caught blatantly told an absolute blatant lie. One example is that Tommy has been convicted of violence against women, so I'll use that example just to cover my ass, so he can't sue me for calling him a liar, because that is a direct, provable lie. But he's backtracked. He's diluted what he originally set out to say. As soon as somebody like Rupert Lowe gets up and says what we expected Reform to be saying, he's booted out. His name's dragged through the mud. He's been abused. There's still this police. There's this police thing going on between him and Dear Yusuf. It's just a shambles and a shit show. And like I say, if you look at the candidates they're bringing in, I mean, who are these people? They're lefty dregs and has-beens in Conservatives, most of whom we've never heard of. Reform have got 4 MPs in Parliament, and the hypocrisy is so. Who knows who these 4 MPs are? So yeah, we all know Farage, an amount will know Tiggs and Anderson. Who's this other geezer? I can't remember his name. I do apologise to him. It's not his fault. Murdoch, I believe. Nobody knows who he is. Why don't the Reform Party get him out on stage? Show everybody who he is. Advertise the guy. Get him known. Get some known faces. Someone to get behind. But no, they won't. They'll hide him up because Mr. Murdoch, he has been found guilty of violence against women. He is convicted. So, the hypocrisy of Reform on that alone is there for all to be seen. So, don't start throwing stones in glass houses. Yes, Dave, you are right. They are already an already built platform. But that platform has only existed for a few months. ConformUK was nothing, was nobody, was nowhere. They weren't doing a thing until Farage popped his head up. So what's to stop a new, genuine Conservative centre right, lean, and whatever you want to call it? What's to stop another new party being formed and gaining the same support as what a dead Reform Party gained in a matter of 4 months? We've got 4 years. My hopes are pinned on a new party with Rupert Lowe and you know all the names. Genuine right-leaning Conservatives, centre-right, right-leaning, whatever, far-right thugs. All this split on the right, what everybody keeps talking about. And I don't really agree that there is a split on the right. The right wants somebody they can all get behind. And I think there's many people out there who will hold the nose and vote Reform. But if there was an alternative, they would go to the alternative if it was what we're looking for. And I think you'll find that there would be a huge number of grassroots Reform supporters, candidates, and your local little constituency parties. They would want to join that party. Now, as long as it's not a transference of the old dregs from Reform to a new party, then all well and good. But you've only got to look on social media. There is podcast after podcast after podcast. Now, you can call it sour grapes. Maybe it is. What do I know? All I know is what I see. But look at the parties that Nigel has been part of, destroyed, blackened the name, such as UKIP. And a big part of the reason UKIP is so tainted in the mainstream is because of Nigel, from what I can gather anyway. So I don't know. Like I said, I voted Reform. I financially support UKIP by being a paid up member. But I won't. I don't know whether I can bring myself to hold my nose at the next general election and vote in Reform. I don't know whether I will just sod it and sit on my ass and do nothing and just let it run. in all honesty, I ain't got that many years left in me, so to be honest with you, I could take the attitude of, well, I don't give a shit. I live out in the sticks. None of this has got to me particularly yet. It hasn't really arrived at my door. So I could feasibly just go, oh, well, leave it to you, lot. You sort it out later. But I hate to see my country going this way. And I don't think reform are the answer. I really don't. I think for this by-election, the Runcorn by-election, I think you should send a message to reform and just don't vote. So then you won't be responsible for another idiot Labour candidate or Conservative. You won't be responsible for anything. Because it's not, in the big scheme of things, it's not going to make a difference, is it? Let's be fair. Just one other make no difference MP. If it's a Labour, they're not exactly going to make a difference to Labour's majority. They don't need another one. They can do without it. It's not going to make any difference to reform. It's not going to suddenly give them great power. So it's kind of irrelevant, other than this is your chance to send reform a message. The second problem comes, even though you send ConformUK a message that we're not happy, well, that may be so, Dave, just a few sore candidates, but there's an awful lot of them out there, and they're not all candidates. They're grassroots activists, they're the door knockers, the leaflet deliverers. They're all complaining about no support and all the rest of it. I can't go through all the points because there are so many, but there are dozens of YouTube videos and stuff all over X, and I can only go by what I read and what I hear these people saying, and it's all the same kind of things going back. Going back through all of the parties that Nigel has been involved with. The Brexit Party, Reform, UKIP, well, I don't know how many he's been involved in. And apparently he wasn't any better when he was an MEP. So, I don't know. I'm not trying to make anybody believe anything. I'm a big believer in kind of look for yourself and take a just, I don't know, I can't think of the word. Just take a constructive view of what you can see and what you hear and who is saying it and all the rest of it. Yeah, I agree with that as well, Dave. Not everybody is on social media. I kind of agree. The majority of people who matter are on social media, to be honest with you, I think. Because social media is not just Twitter. It's not just YouTube. It's Twitter, YouTube, X, X, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. Now just bear in mind that in 4 years' time, when it comes to the vote, today's 14-year-olds are going to be going to the polls to vote. So there's a lot of 14-year-olds on TikTok and Instagram, as Nigel is aware. That's why he goes on there. So there's no reason another party can't have a social media guy who can go on and appeal to the youngsters, which is needed. It's the youngsters we need to appeal to. You don't need to appeal to old farts like me. Half of us are going to be dead by the time the next general election comes round. Hopefully not me, but you never know. So you ain't got to appeal to me. I don't. I ain't about to do nothing magical. All them youngsters coming up, your 14, 15, 16, 17, your 18-year-olds, all the ones who couldn't vote last year, they're all going to be able to vote. Yeah, that's fine, Dave. I don't want everybody to agree with me. That's pointless. That's what's wrong with half of the country. They're all stuck up each other's arse, agreeing with each other. And whatever rubbish comes out, they're all going, yeah. So, yeah, debate, argue points. Another big problem I have with reform is Nigel's statement about democratising the party. Now, I don't understand how political parties work. I don't profess to. But, so, Reform UK was most of you know this, so I'm probably just telling you all what you know. Reform UK was set up as a limited company, and the sole owner of the company was Nigel. So he had total control. So his answer to democratisation was to rename the party to Reform UK 2025 with joint directors of Nigel Farage and Zia Youssef. So that's... I don't see how that's democratising the party. You've still got two people. Well, you've actually got two people instead of one, who, to all intents and purposes, have got 100% control over that party. They could close it down tomorrow. They could just go, it's over. How can you vote for a new party leader? I don't think you can. I don't think it's possible. How can you pressure the leadership or debate the leadership on policy if ultimately they just go, if you don't like it, mate, clear off? And how many people have they said, we don't like what you're saying, clear off? And that's not a way to run things at all. We've got too much of that already. We've already got two parties who the public keeps saying, we don't want this, we don't want that, we want you to do this and whatever, and they just go, can't hear you, nothing to see here. We don't want another one. We don't want another dictatorship. Or I certainly don't anyway. We need to bring common sense back to this country, because if anyone thinks this country is run on common sense currently, I don't know what to say to them, really. I have tried to have discussions with people on the left, should I say, but it's an impossibility. They're like that, as you all know. So it's impossible, and we don't want another party. It's just gonna sit there and say, well, we can hear you, but we're gonna ignore you. We're not gonna do that. And like I say, reform seemed to be one watering down the type of policies that we thought, and I feel a little bit deceived, that we thought they was behind, which was what Rupert Lowe was standing up in Parliament and saying, and we was all discussing that at the time. And a lot of conclusions were that Rupert was raising these concerns so that Nigel didn't have to. So the mainstream media couldn't attack him on being pro deportation and all of this kind of stuff. So what we was kind of thinking was, well, Nigel's letting him do that, and then they can't attack Nigel so much. But it turns out we was completely wrong. This wasn't something Nigel was behind. He was actually against. And those four months or whatever that we was wondering before Rupert got the boot, it's since become clear that stuff was going on in the background to try and silence him, which I think is wrong. Every issue that Rupert brings up in Parliament is a critical issue to this country, and if we can't sort it out, it will be the destruction of this country as we know it. Which, I mean, it pretty much is anyway. It's just, if you want my honest opinion, we're done. So, you know, I'm not a young bloke, as you can see. I've seen where the country came from, where it is now, and everything in between, although I haven't perhaps took as much notice as I have lately. And I really don't see any way back from it anyway, but unless you've got a Trump-style party with a Trump-style cabinet, then there is no coming back from this. No, that's just a fact. My main point about reform at the minute is, I'm not suggesting it. I'm not suggesting you do anything. You do what you like. That's obviously no. You're currently still more or less free. The main thing I'm referring to is the Runcorn by-election. It's an irrelevant. It's just an irrelevance. It's just a distraction. But if you go and vote reform, and they do happen, I don't think they'll get in anyway. I think Labour will take Runcorn again, and I don't believe these polls one bit. But if they do, that then strengthens reform's resolve that you all agree with what they're doing, that you're all happy with what's going on, that Rupert Lowe is just whatever, disposable, as well as us lot. So that message certainly needs to be sent. And between now and the general election, massive reform needs to be done inside reform, and I don't think it can be, and I don't think it will be, because I don't think Nigel will let it. He wants to be President Nigel, but politics doesn't work like that in the UK. So I don't see reforming itself, because how can you have it as a limited company with 2 directors and then make a reform to make the party genuinely democratic? If you're a member of reform, if you're a paid up member of reform, have you got a vote? Can you vote on anything? I don't know, because I'm not a member, so that is a genuine question. If you have no vote, or no say, no voice, all you are is you just lining reform's pockets with your money, which is fair enough, because they have work to do and costs to cover and all the rest of it. So I mean, that's fair enough to give them your financial support. But if you haven't got a say or a vote, then it's not a democratic party, is it? And you, as the PAN members, you cannot be instrumental in change in the party to try to shape policy. And that's a lot of the point of it. Anyway, that's about all I'm going to say about reform, because it just says that I'm reform bashing, which I am, to be honest with you. I think they need a bit of a bash, a bit of a liven up. I suppose if I could have one wish, it would be that reform opened its doors and let people in who need serious people who are serious about this country. Not people who want to fanny around at the edges and tinker about and look like they're doing something but never do. So I do apologise to any reform voter. I'm a reform voter. I voted reform, so you know, that includes me. But I don't want to upset any reform voters, and I'm sure you won't like a lot of what I'm saying. But we all have our own opinions, and that's another big fight we've got on our hands, is the freedom to voice those opinions. So voice them on here if you want. I don't care. I don't know, Dave. I don't know how many votes Rupert would get. But I'll guarantee you this, he'll get enough. If another party doesn't appear, I'll guarantee you 100% that if Rupert Lowe goes independent, he'll get voted back into Great Yarmouth. Ask the people of Great Yarmouth. The people of Great Yarmouth are extremely happy with him as an MP. So, even if that's just one seat, that's one seat Reform won't get. Because I'm 100% confident that they will not take that seat from Rupert Lowe in Great Yarmouth. The problem is, you say he's gained all the support from the right he can before being labelled far right. Well, he shouldn't care about that. We're all far right. Anybody who doesn't, yeah, but we can't vote for a prime minister, Dave. We have to vote for a party, and then the leader of the party becomes prime minister. And I don't think, if you want me to be quite honest, and I love Rupert Lowe to absolute pieces, I think he's brilliant, but I don't think he should be the prime minister, funnily enough. So let's play a little bit of fantasy politics. and this won't go down well with some, but I did say on Paul Thorpe's channel earlier when I had my little chat, even if it's possible, I don't know, but let's just do some fantasy politics. If you could steal away the genuine Conservatives from the Tory party, look at what Robert Jenrick's got to say for himself. Now, he may just be doing this as a reaction to Rupert Lowe's stance, so it could be just a little bit of a Tory trick. We know what they're like, they're tricksters. So it could be that. But Robert Jenrick is saying, I would say he's got a little bit more radical than Rupert Lowe. So we'll just fantasise that this new party has been set up. So if you steal away Robert Jenrick, Suella Braverman, she seems to be quite popular on the right. Liz Truss is popular-ish on the right. A little bit controversial, maybe. I don't know, and others. Possibly. And then you couple that with Rupert Lowe, Ben Habib, Andrew Bridgen, blah, 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 blah. The list goes on. There are so many good right-wing candidates out there. It's unbelievable. Ask yourself this. Why haven't they joined Reform? Well, Robert Jenrick, Suella Braverman, Liz Truss, I don't think they would join the Reform Party if they was the only party left. I think they'd just retire and go home. They'll never join Reform. They would never, ever join UKIP. And I hate to say it, but they just wouldn't. UKIP is... You can rebrand and do whatever you like with UKIP. If the name stays UKIP, it's tainted. Farage is saying to that, and so is the mainstream media. It's tainted as kind of far right, extremist, activist party. But in this fantasy political party, Nick Tanconi could be a fantastic part of a new party. So you put all these on a stage, and if you take the three Conservatives I just mentioned, they're all very experienced politicians. They're experienced with the bullshit of Westminster. They know how the blob works. They know what needs to be done with the blob to actually get anything done before you can start. So they have that experience to bring to a party. Plus, like I say, other lesser known people, but who are equally good politicians. I mean, who knows who Ben Habib is? Yeah, a lot of people. But not as many who would know who Farage is. But they'd certainly know who Robert Jenrick is. They'd certainly know who Liz Truss is. Even if it might be for the wrong reasons, but I mean, from what I've seen of the Liz Truss affair, that was pretty concocted anyway. So, and you need to remember that the Conservative Party is riddled with lefties. It's been infiltrated. It's like fleas on a dog. I think that sort of group of people could quickly gain a lot of traction, because a lot of people on the right are just desperate to get behind a party like this. We was desperate to get behind Reform, and now we're all feeling let down. Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be a bad group, Dave. I mean, there's a lot more. There's loads more, but my memory's shot. So I'll when I finish the stream, I'll think of about another 50 more. But there's a lot of good people out there who are genuinely concerned about what the travel of the country, who are well known to the public, who can get mainstream media coverage. So these things are possible, and I just don't think Reform of the vehicle. If it comes to the general election and there's nothing else, bloody hell, it's really putting me on the spot. I think I would have to, if I went to vote, I'd have to hold my nose and vote Reform, I guess. But I don't think Reform will get into government. I think the best they could do is be in a situation where they could make a coalition government, but they won't be allowed to, because the other parties won't let them. Conservatives and Labour and Lib Dem, if it comes to it, they'd all, rather than let Reform get in, they'd all hook up together. It'd be like a coalition of the evil, but they'd still do it. a new party's got to win a majority, because if it comes to coalition, there's a good chance they'll try and get squeezed out. So, which is, as you can see, a problem in Europe with their proportional representation system, which is sounds like a good idea until you look at the situation in Europe, where any right-leaning party gets squeezed out into no man's land. But yeah, that's my opinion on it. So there's not really much more I can say, to be honest with you. That's how I see it. I feel really let down. I agree. There is still time, Dave. I do agree with that. There was 4 years. Problem is with trust. Trust is easily lost, but it's extremely hard to regain. And even if you kind of get to the point where you half trust them, you just wait. I don't know. It's such a complicated issue. I wish I had a magic answer. I think they've already gone too far to the left, so they need to come back. They need to be a centre-right party. It's, I don't think there is such a thing as a centre. I don't think there is centrist voters. I don't think you're either centre-right or you're centre-left. Or way left. Or a raving far-right Nazi. I don't want nothing to do with none of them. But yeah, I think they've gone too far left. I think they need to come back and trust common sense. Common sense is basically centre-right. Well, they've got a Free Palestine candidate. Standing in Runcorn. I believe she's standing in Runcorn. I might be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe. I mean, that's too far left to me. And when she was a magistrate, basically let off a Polish drunk driver with kind of, oh well, you know, things happen. So and again, no offence to the lady. She's entitled to her opinions, her views, and her ideologies. Yeah, I hope so, Dave. I wouldn't say they're too far left for me, but there are elements that are hidden too far left. Zia Yusuf, as far as I'm concerned, is a left-wing. I don't know how to word it really, but I don't want to be rude to Zia Yusuf. I don't know the bloke. He seems all right to me. So do a lot of people seem all right to me, but it don't mean I agree with their politics. And there is proof out there that Zia Yusuf's involvement with the WEF and being a left-wing activist. So that concerns me, because you can change your views. That's not impossible. I agree. He has made some fantastic speeches, Dave. Yeah, I've seen a lot of his speeches. I've watched most of the Reform stuff that they've broadcast, and a lot of the things they say, I can't disagree with. I can't pick fault with. But it's what they do when they're off. It's what they do off camera. And their use of a very difficult. Was it okay, Dave? I stand corrected, and I do apologise there, Yusuf, for tarnishing you with the WEF connection. It was just what I read, so more fake news for me. Sorry. Right, so okay. But there is still in a bit of a squeeze in what he can say. I'm gonna be so careful how I word things, because I don't want to start getting in any bother for saying a wrong word, which in itself is absolutely ridiculous. So much for Article 10 of the Human Rights Act and free speech and blah blah blah. I suppose I'm a far-right, fascist, Nazi, anti-Semitic something or other anyway, so it probably wouldn't make a lot of difference. As there's a Muslim. Now, I'm not Muslim bashing. If there's anybody out there who's a Muslim, I couldn't care less. I couldn't care less about it. I just really don't care. Because that's kind of true, Dave. But in some respects, it's not. Because he's a practicing Muslim, he has to be careful with his own community. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with his own community or what his community is, but part of his community is the Islamic community. It's a religion, so they are. I mean, Islam is quite a close religion. You can't deny that. They are very they're a very tight group. They stick together very tightly. So there will be I would imagine have to tread a little bit carefully to not upset. God, it's just so hard to. Like, I don't want to say something racist, because I'm not even going to say I'm not racist, because I don't mean shit anyway. But I don't want to appear a racist, because I'm not. I have no care about Muslim people. I don't even know any. Only the fella at the local takeaway. They're the only ones I know. It's because I live here where I do. So all of that side of it is not. It don't concern me. What concerns me is radical extremists. That's what concerns me, from any community, from any group, because we don't need it. But anyway, I've banged on enough about reform. That's my opinion on reform. Is he's not the Messiah. He's just a very naughty boy. I agree with that, Dave. I 100% agree with that if he condemns the extremists. But I'll have a bet with you. I'll bet you are. Well, we're at no point, because we're not going to. I'm not going to bet to fulfill it. But I'll have a bet with you. He won't condemn the extremists. He won't do that. He won't want to get involved. So, yeah, but anyway, I've made my point about reform. My biggest point I wanted to make is, as far as this silly Runcorn by-election goes, which is just an absolute irrelevant distraction, is save your vote, save your petrol, don't bother, just whatever. Let whoever gets it get it, because just in the grand scheme of things, it just don't make a shit of difference. So I'm gonna leave the reform there. I haven't really got much more to say because this has just gone on way too long. I just want to raise the issue again of other matters which are getting brushed under the carpet, swept away, tucked back into those dark shadows in the corners. And I'd just like to ask you guys, don't forget about stuff like the groom and gang scandal. Email your MPs, keep emailing them time after time. We need a full national inquiry into this issue and get it out of the shadows, dust it off, and let's see what really happened. So bang emails into your politicians, into your MPs and whatever. That's about all we can do, really. But just keep making a fuss and keep it alive. It's an extremely important scandal. Much as the Southport incident, those victims, they should never ever be forgot. They should never ever be forgot. In America, they got bloody statues of George Floyd. Yeah, just think about that. So where's their Southport statue? Where's their Manchester Arena statue? Memorial, whatever you want to call it. You won't get one, so don't look. There isn't one. You won't get one. And they'll just all be forgotten. Oh, thank you, Emma. That's very kind of you. Yeah, I thought I'd... I was sat on Paul's channel and I thought, well, I better pull my finger out my ass and go and say something, but I just feel like I'm just repeating myself, and I'm just really frustrated. If I had the means, if I had the finances and the ability, I'd pack my bags and I'd move to Poland tomorrow. I'd get out of this country because I don't think I think it's done. But I'm trapped. I have got a dinghy though, so if it really comes to it, I'll get my dinghy out and cross the channel to France. But it's not right to run away from your country, because the right thing to do is to try and sort it out. I know. I ain't got any choice. I'm trapped here anyway. And I'm just a voice in the wilderness. I'm not a big channel. I'm not like Paul. I don't have thousands of viewers and subscribers and all the rest of it. But sometimes I just get that kind of frustrated. I feel I need to say something. But yeah, don't forget all these other issues. Don't let it all be about reform and Zia Youssef and Nigel Farage and Runcorn and all this. Yeah, it's very important. But remember the other things. Remember the grooming gang scandal. Remember the Southport scandal. Remember the young lad who was unalived in the school. The Nottingham. Was it Nottingham School, I believe it was? Nottingham or Sheffield. See, I was bad. It slips from your mind. And someone else comes up and takes its place, and these poor people get forgotten. They should all have... If was his name George Floyd, whatever he is, if he deserves a statue and a shopping mall named after him, what about these poor kids? Why's it all kids? what is this attack on the children? And if you're a parent out there, you want to start looking harder at the education your children are getting in your local schools. Question it. See what they're teaching them. See what the curriculum is. See what's on the curriculum. There's some shocking things going on in schools. Cancelling Easter. I know it's only one school, or it's only one school we mentioned. How many more are there that we don't know about? I don't know. Maybe more. So we just got a bit of breaking news come up. Hang on, don't move, I can't see it. A little bit of breaking news come up, which I'm sure you'll all be absolutely dying to hear. Amsterdam stabbing. Multiple people injured after broad daylight knife attack in city centre. So that'll cheer you up. I know that's not here, but it's still in the West. It's still in Europe. This is a Europe-wide. It's a Europe-wide problem. It's absolutely shocking. But yeah, look at your kids. See what they're getting taught. See what they're getting told. Don't leave all this crap like that. Netflix drama. I mean, it's just on that. There was a big uproar because a white boy was used to for the lead role, which okay. In the current climate, everybody goes and fairly. Oh, why does it have to be a white boy? If it was a black boy, everybody would be racist. If it was a brown boy, everyone would be racist, Islamophobic. So, whoever Netflix casted for that role, they'd always be on a loser anyway. My big objection is that Keir Starmer seems to think it's a documentary, and Netflix was pushing for it to be shown in Parliament and in schools, and I think that's just a disgrace. As if the majority of our children and young people are all running around hating on women and girls and committing, untold knife crime. And there is a lot of knife crime. Is it really 13-year-old, 14-year-old schoolboys? I know there's some. But they're just vilifying our young men. Whether you're white, black or brown, or any of whatever, any colour in between. You're all being vilified the same. And if there does happen to be any youngsters watching this, which I doubt it, who wants to watch a twat like me. If you're thinking about going out and carrying a knife, if you think carrying a knife makes you a bit of a hard guy, a bit of a tough guy, you're completely wrong. I'll tell you what it makes you. It makes you an absolute coward. Just a total coward, and a fool, and an idiot. So, and the end result will either be you'll get stabbed yourself, or you'll be in a prison cell, crying in your pillow that you're locked up. And let me tell you, they can glorify prison all they like. It ain't no fun. You'll be in there crying for your mum. Don't carry knives. Cowards carry knives. If you really got such a big beef with someone that you think violence is the only answer, well then what I would suggest you do is join your local boxing club and get yourself booked in there and have a scrap with whoever you got beef with. Get in the ring and have a punch up. Then at the end of it, shake hands and it's over. No need for all this weaponry. It's shocking behaviour, cowardly behaviour, and we as adults, rather than keep trying to vilify the youngsters, we need to show them that we support them, that we support the youth, we support the young people. And a lot of what's being done to them and said about them is wrong, and we disagree with it. And yeah, so that's my opinion on that. Bloody knife crime. What a horrible thing. What horrible. And like I say, I don't see how it makes you a tough guy if you can, just because you're carrying a weapon. It's just, I'm old school, so I'm of the age where if you got beef, you have a punch up, and that's it. It's over. Worst you get is a bloody nose or fat lip, and it's sorted. But I'm not encouraging any of that. Discussion and debate is the way forward. There's a million things I want to cover, but the video's just going on way too long. So I'm going to leave it there, guys. Christianity's the way forward. We're a Christian country. You don't have to go around being a Bible basher and 6 days a week going to church. Just think about your Christ. Even if you're an atheist, you are living in a Christian based, valued, you know what I mean, a Christian value based country. Same as the West, Europe, US. We all run on Christian values. If you look at what Christianity stands for, it's pretty much common sense stuff. Don't let them erase Christianity or Christian values. Don't let them erase their history. If you've got kids, promote that to your kids the best you can. Anyway, guys, I've just rabbited on enough. I do apologise for running on like a 2-bob watch, if you know what 2-bob is. I'd like to thank very much however little or long you spent with this video on. Give us a thumbs up, give us a sub. Most importantly, share the video, get it about. Make a video yourself, bang it on YouTube, whatever, I don't know. Let's do what the left do. Shout the loudest, and everybody might listen. Because that's all they do, and it's like shout as loud as they can. But anyway, thank you so much. God bless you all, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. And hopefully, I'll see you soon. I'll keep things short and a little bit more concentrated on a particular issue. This was just a bit off the cuff. So, thank you very much. Love you all. God bless you all. And hopefully, see you soon. Bye-bye.